What's cool is feeling good about myself. What's cool is having a dope marriage. What's cool is getting better. What's cool is sitting at somebody's feet and learning something new. So I have to reinforce that value system because from an evolutionary standpoint, we have all these weird things baked in already. So 50% of you is just baked in. And then 50% of you is created really subtly from the time you are a child, and you have no idea that you're absorbing and creating these belief systems that are governing your value system, that are governing what you think is worthy of respect, which means if you think that the only thing worthy of respect is tremendous success, then you'll put yourself on that wheel trying to earn your own respect. And then if you don't get it, you'll be in the dumps. And then if you do get it, you're going to realize it didn't matter in the first place because you have these embedded things in your brain. And here's the most insidious. You will get this more than most. There is no amount of success big enough that you can stand in it forever. There's no meal big enough, no feast overwhelming enough that you never need to eat again. No drink so thirst quenching that you don't need to drink again. We get that with like the bodily stuff. No sex so great that you don't want sex again. So why is it that we think that success would be any different? And people think it is. They think I will have reached that, right? Like if you read my resume, it sounds like I should just permanently be happy, right? You sold $1 billion company. You live in a really fancy house. You've got a lot of money. It doesn't work like that. None of that stuff carries any weight with me today. I have to earn my self-respect every day. And so I have to be really careful what I choose to value, because that will determine how I feel about myself when I'm by myself, which is ultimately all that matters.
You mentioned the anxiety that comes with that self-awareness now. What is, because what I heard there was this kind of expectation that you're placing on yourself, which is part of the baked in part of Tom. Is that the thing causing the anxiety now?
Anxiety is really complex. So let's start with diet. The biggest change that I've made to my anxiety was stopping drinking sugar-free Monster, which I love, by the way. Absolutely love them. But there's something, right? There's something in them that causes my microbiome to get out of whack, and I will feel really anxious. So I used to have generalized anxiety disorder. I couldn't even tell you why I felt anxious. I just did all the time. And finally, I realized there was a component of diet, so I no longer get generalized anxiety. Now, I will still get anxious if I'm dealing with something that's really like the stakes are really high and it really matters to me. So I've had to learn meditation that changed my life in ways that I can't even convey. So that's been really important. But and some of it is going to be just the way that I'm wired. I don't have an addictive personality, but I have an obsessive mind. Now, my obsessive mind has led to my success because I will think about problems all the time. And so, like, I'm actually a really slow thinker, but people give me all this credit because I can talk fast. But I talk fast because I've thought about it obsessively for days, weeks, months, years, depending on what thing we're talking about. But that rumination, in fact, I was just talking to a guy that he doesn't like the term hypnotherapy, but everybody will understand that idea. So he's really well versed in hypnosis. And he said people break into 3 personality types. And the personality type that struggles the most is the personality type that both experiences the world incredibly emotionally, but then has an analytical mind that ruminates on the emotions. And that's where I'm at. So I experience the emotional gamut of life, and it's incredible. I would never want to not. It's wonderful. Life is a roller coaster of incredible highs and lows, and meditation and my belief system allow me to even that out so that I never get too out of whack in any direction. But I'll loop on ideas. And if it's a negative idea about myself, I'll loop and loop and loop and loop and loop. And so that's why I said at the beginning, what you allow yourself to repeat is really going to determine the quality of your life. And so I have to really get good at interrupting that. So that's why meditation is the key for me to dealing with anxiety. Like as I can feel it ratcheting up, it's really my mind ruminating on all the ways that it could go wrong. And so I have to find a way to insert myself to break that rehearsal of failure and instead force myself to focus on rehearsing success, which it's almost silly, but it really does drop my anxiety to next to nothing. But I have to really forcefully insert myself.
Does it always work, that process?
There are things that are so high in amplitude that it's like, okay, this is really like stressing me out. But yeah, it always works. I've never been more than 45 minutes away from complete equanimity.